Welcome to the CEN show, a platform where we learn from the world community. I am your host, Rashki Maskani, and our panel this evening is
where we learn from the world community. Speak truth to the people and then speak truth to power. Go ahead, Rashki. You back on, you froze for a minute.
Okay. So now Professor Ra is my co-host this evening due to internet issues. So if he takes over, everybody know why. Okay, so now we got Professor Amin Ra. We have Brother Hembrick. We got Sister Linda Shorter, Brother Mashinda, Brother E. And our guest this evening is Brother Millz. Brother Millz is a neuropathic consultant. He works at a health food store and he does iridology, and he's been on twice. So he's familiar with our platform, and we're going to turn it over to him now. Brother Millz, welcome back. Go ahead and do your thing, brother.
First and foremost, I want to say that I appreciate y'all, and I really do like what y'all doing for the people. Peace and blessings to everyone that hears the sound of my voice. I want to start off a little. I want to say different because I don't know if this is done often, but I just want to start it off. I feel led to start off with just us taking a moment just to synchronize with our breath, and take some deep breaths, and just kind of just settle ourselves in as we prepare to have this discussion today, if y'all don't mind.
Yeah, nothing like that.
So if we can, let's just, I don't want to guide anyone outside of just relaxing your body, relaxing your shoulders, and relaxing wherever you are sitting down at right now, just to relax for a moment and just to calm your physical bodies right now, and just take some deep breaths. What you want to do is just, for those who may be new to breath work or synchronized breathing, just want to close your eyes if you may, or keep your eyes open, whatever works for you. But really want to focus on our breathing. And we want to do more diaphragm breathing, which is breathing in the stomach through the nose and then out through the mouth. So I'm not going to do much talking because I'm going to also be doing the same. But what it'll be is just you take deep breath in, and letting the oxygen go to the stomach, and then release that oxygen out of the stomach through your mouth, or you can do it through your nose, either one. But just making sure that we're taking our breath in the nose to the stomach and then out. And really just pay attention to your bodies and how your body feel as you take those deep breaths in through the stomach, and you take the deep breaths out, releasing the oxygen from the stomach. One more cycle of the deep breathing. Okay. I felt good for myself. I know I needed that myself. We all need that. So that felt good.
Brother Millz, let me say, did you everybody hear me? Did I mention that we have Brother E here also? Did I mention him?
No, you didn't. But
So we got Brother E also here.
He's here.
All right. Okay, Brother Millz.
Okay, yeah, most definitely. Yeah, so one of the things before I got on the show today, I was just really just praying and meditating on, where I'm being led to speak to the people about. And my heart has been really, really set. And ultimately staying ready so you ain't got to get ready, as the saying goes, right? Um, so as you know, we're coming up on the more cooler seasons, the fall and the winter. Um, uh, I'm trying to figure out how to say this safely without saying any words that could be any trigger words to cause any attention that's unwanted. But uh, we know that there's an enemy out here that is plotting against us as a people. Um, the best thing that we can do is to be prepared by, when I say prepared, I mean taking care of our bodies and our immune systems and taking care of our mind, protecting, this vessel that we have, which is our sanctuary, which is our house of our spirit bodies to be taken care of. One of the things that has been heavy on my spirit is making sure that we're taking care of our immune system, making sure we are like um, the brother Elijah Muhammad says, we eat to live. Um, One of the biggest things that I've been really, really, uh, you know, trying to um, really convince people with and to encourage people to do is just being conscious about what they put in their bodies and the effects that it has on the body, whether you're vegan, pescatarian, vegetarian, whatever different dietary um, lifestyles or labels or habits that you have. The main thing is being conscious of what you eat, conscious of what you put in your body, understanding the effects that these things have on the body, but then also being mindful of the availabilities that we have also of the fresh fruits and vegetables and the herbs, which also bring the cleansing and the healing on the body, but then also being physically active. If it's doing some cardio, getting some cardio in and strengthening the heart and the lungs, sweating, which also releases and toxins out the body by way of the pores. The main thing is that we as a people need to be active and be proactive about our health and taking care of ourselves, um, because our immune system is the first line of defense when it comes down to our bodies, any disease or any sickness, illnesses, or anything. It's us first and foremost that we hold the responsibility of to be mindful of the things that we eat. Um, Also being mindful of the source of where the food comes from. Um, um, as far as growing food, uh, growing your fruits and vegetables or herbs, or if you don't have access to uh, farmers that you may know, go into farmers markets or just networking and bartering, I would say, with other people, because you may know other people who may have fruits and you may have something that the other may need. But the idea that I'm really just wanting to propose to the people is really just being consciously aware of our habits, being more intentional about the things that we do. Um, Watch what we feed our minds, because there's a lot of stuff out here that's just feeding our minds fear. And even fear itself has a chemical response to the body. And so it's more important for us to truly be mindful of the power of the intention that we have. I mean, the intention and how powerful it is when it comes down to our well-being overall. For those people who know me know that I'm really big on holistic health. And so when we talk about holistic, it's not just what we eat, it's also what we think. It's also the environments that we surround ourselves by. It's also, surround ourselves in. It's also uh, uh, the things that we listen to audibly, the things that we allow our eyes to be exposed to, um, along with obviously what you consume and what we put in our bodies as far as food and drink. Um, it's really, really important that we pay attention to that. Not only um, um, just because of the fall and winter time during these times where most people get sick and it's colder, but just forever moving forward. Because the thing is, there's a lot happening. There's a lot of shifts that's taking place um, in the world, and obviously, what we see in the physical is really just a manifestation of what's happening spiritually, energetically. So it's important that we tap into that power that we have to really start to engage um, with each other, our resources that we have available, and also just to really hone in into our bodies, because our bodies is such powerful vessels if we really, really start to really utilize it. I just had a conversation with someone today, and we were talking about uh, how they say, and I could be uh, maybe a little inaccurate about the percentage, but how the average human being only uses, I think, 10%, 12% of their brains. And, you know, it's just the power that we truly have that we can tap into when it comes down to the healing of our bodies and the quality of life that we live. Because, I mean, if we're talking about, we're talking about living, we want to talk, I'm assuming we're talking about living quality life, not just living a long life where we're sick. You know what I'm saying? Are we unhealthy? Are we? Because the thing is, if we're physically sick, there's also an imbalance mentally. You know what I mean? So there's so many different aspects to this wellness um, when it comes down to holistic living uh, and just overall just wellness in general, other than just what we eat. You know what I mean? So really, my main thing that I really, really wanted to push is just really understanding the importance of conscious living, conscious eating, consciously thinking, uh redirecting your thoughts when there's a sense of depression or doubt, because we're starting to see numbers of depression and anxiety on the rise as well, which has been way more than ever. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you say something. Okay.
No,
Uh,
keep going.
okay. I thought I heard someone say something. But yeah, it's really a charge to the people to really hone in to uh the power that we have. Reclaim your power. We really have given ourselves over the years over uh to other people, and I've allowed them to dictate what's considered soul food, what's good for our bodies, and we've allowed other people to dictate who we are as a people, rather than we live out who we truly are and tap into the power that the same power that our ancestors tapped into. um, this is definitely not a physical battle, but this is a spiritual battle. And, the spirit body is also, uh, um, there's some tuning into the spiritual realm based off of, again, what we consume. So that goes back to that, the connection of the mind, body, and spirit, holistically speaking. But yeah, I really just want to emphasize that and the importance of that and how I've been feeling, about that, and especially in these times to come. Because there's a lot that's happening right now, and there's a lot more that is to come. And it's important for us to really, really like establish that sense of intention and power, and tap into all of these, things to elevate ourselves, instead of, I feel like, being passive, or just allowing ourselves to just do away with whatever.
Okay, well, let me go around the panel and see their reactions, see if they have any questions. I'm gonna start with Brother E. Brother E.
Yes, sir. I have one question. As far as things you're putting into your body, okay, what do you believe when a person is stressing, a male or a woman, what does that actually physically do to your body? You know, I know it's chemicals and stuff of that nature, but can you explain to me what it actually does to your body dealing with stress?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so one of the main things is, um, our bodies, being as smart as it is, our bodies, um, out of protection, really, goes and releases a chemical. I can't think of the chemical right now. Um,
Do anybody else know what that chemical is? I'm frozen out.
adrenaline that you have, that's flowing, if it's causing, I mean, if it's an actual situation, or if it's just the body under stress, the body can't determine the difference. And so, out of reaction of a stressful uh, environment within the body, you start to have your body, and it starts to shut down and dysfunction and not work properly like it needs to. I hope that
Well
answers your
put,
question.
brother. Yeah, well put, well put.
Okay, Sister Linda.
No, I don't have any questions because I'm enjoying this. I want to hear what else he keeps saying. Hear what he's saying. I love that you start off with the breathing exercise. Please continue whatever you were saying, and then I have some questions.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Brother Mashinda.
Oh, I just appreciate the brother coming on tonight to share his area of expertise. You know, what he's studied, what he's learned, sharing with everyone. I think it's important. Um, just look forward to hearing more at this point.
All right, Brother Henry.
Hey, Brother Millz, how's it going?
My brother, how you doing, family?
Yeah, just got through watering the vegetables out there before the show. Been a little late.
My brother.
I missed the other beads, man. Where they at?
They charging at the house right now.
Okay. I'm just enjoying, what you're getting into about the ancestral stuff, That's what I do from a historical standpoint. Anyway, I'm the brother comes and get the barley grass all the time, as you know. So
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Good seeing you, brother.
now, you guys used to sell a dish flake, a concentrated seaweed. You haven't had it in a while. Are you guys getting that back on in stock in the store?
It's been a lot of things that used to be sold at the store that hasn't, and a lot of companies, our brothers and sisters who sold certain stuff, has just gone out of business. So we've been seeing a lot of that lately, especially since 2020. So I'm not for sure if that's even available anymore.
And I've had some for a long time. I keep it in the refrigerator. I only use it from time to time. So you think that stuff is still good for being in a concentrated form?
Oh wait, are you talking about the sea moss?
No, I'm talking about the dish flakes. It's concentrated seaweed.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah,
Of North, we had in the hills of North America. One is obesity, and the challenge of obesity with, the challenge of your heart, your other organs. They say that obesity is your body swelling up because it's reacting to what you're eating. Some people can eat a little and get big. Some people just eat, drink sodas and stuff. That's one question. What would be a therapeutic, meaning a treatment for obesity, and what would be a process of eating from the standpoint of lessons in education? That's one question. As far as the dangers of obesity, because some people just act like they don't care.
Yeah.
So how would you deal with someone who came into the store and you said, you need to do this? I know CKLs would be one of them, but at the same time, how do you get them to get emotionally committed to doing something about their health condition? Because obesity is a sign of an illness.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good question too. So first and foremost, the mental state is the most important. That's like a lot of people don't talk about that or consider that, but the mental state is the biggest factor of health in general, I would say, because of the fact that if a person isn't mentally convinced that that it's important to consider what or if a person feels like, say for example, like there's people who I've helped that they came obesity. I broke it down to them every single way possible and detailed, really made it so fundamental and elementary for them. And they were still like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. It seems like it's just too much. I don't know if I can stop doing this. And so, with that, I've learned the importance of the mental. But to answer your question, sorry about that. But to answer your question, so the biggest thing when it comes down to the mental is to get people to understand, like this is your life. Like you literally are what you eat. And so when a person is dealing with obesity, I have to tell them like, this is inflammation. And the inflammation is literally overtaking your body to the point of obesity. And if you don't make a change at some point in time in your life, what then starts to happen is the inflammation then goes to other organs of the body where you have heart issues, clogged arteries, diabetes. Now the blood isn't working properly. There's too much sugar in the blood. The pancreas is no longer functioning the way that it needs to. The kidneys is no longer functioning the way that they need to. And the inflammation is just continues to spread throughout the body. So inflammation is really what it is that's causing the obesity. So the resolution for that immediately would be a cleanse themselves. And CKLS is one of the combination of herbs that we sell that you mentioned that helps with that. But even if, say, for example, someone isn't within Southern California area or are there, they for some reason aren't internet savvy and don't want to order the CKLS online, there's plenty of herbs that you can take to cleanse out the body safely, I'm going to say, to rid the body of all the toxins in the body. Because the thing I say safely because there's a lot of quick, quote unquote, fixes for losing weight that's not healthy. Um, one of them being I've seen some like I see so many different methods that people use to lose weight, but the problem is the stuff isn't safe. Uh, one being like baking soda and apple cider vinegar. Like those are things that people are doing to lose weight. But that sounds like a freaking science project. Like, so people are taking this stuff to lose weight and it's not safe. But that's a whole nother topic. Um, the whole point is that a colon cleanse is what's necessary, though, and getting active. So you have herbs like Cascara Sagrada, Uva Ursi. A lot of my folks in the Caribbean, they know about Senna. Senna is great. You have rhubarb. You have um, mandrake. Like that's like one of the old school ones. So you have so many different herbs you can take for cleansing the colon, and you also have dandelion, milk thistle, all these things to cleanse out the colon and kidneys and the liver. You want to get all of those organs flushed out, flush out all of the old foods and toxins and things like that, so that way the body can now filtrate to be able to whatever they consume, that it can also go through in the bowels. Because when a person has the obesity and the inflammation, that's also a sign that there's some baggage. Like it's backed up. They're backed up. And so you want to flush all of that out, and then also getting physically active, whether it be starting to briskly walk or jog. Or there's been a lot of research that has shown that just an hour of brisk walking, you burn more calories than an hour of a bodies and get active. And that was the thing too. Like you hear people say, "Oh, back in the days, like our ancestors ate this, our ancestors ate that." And though that is true, the foods were different in those times. It wasn't filled with so much additives and hormones and all this other stuff. The reality is too that our ancestors were active. It was outside. And this is why I like to tell people all the time, you got to turn the TV off. So many people, the TVs, and it has people hooked. Like entertainment has people hooked to where they
So
don't know how to get off the couch and get off the chair.
yeah. So there's food because they got so many additives, and salt and sugar is one of the main drugs. But the other point is when it comes down to it, I heard one nutritionist say, if you eat something and it tastes good, spit it out. You understand? I heard other one said that it's an addiction. Food, people they're not even hungry and they just eat, and it's like a narcotic. So you have to treat it like that. The other point I want to ask you about: there's so many viruses that emerge. We used to deal with just the common cold, and I don't know if that was really the flu when it got severe. But what is some of the remedies for? Let's say let's start with COVID. I know the best cure is prevention, but a lot of nutritionists and naturalists don't believe in the shot, or they don't think the shot is good because it alters your DNA and this and that and this and that. So, what do you suggest from a herbalist standpoint, the treatment or the prevention of getting COVID?
Yeah. So first and foremost, herbs that would be an immune defense builder. So I would suggest herbs like astragalus. That's a herb that builds the white blood cells. Um, uh, in other countries, astragalus is considered to be the top immune system building. Specifically, like I said, because it builds the white blood cells, and the white blood cells are also called the T cells, are the killer cells, because what they do is they attack any um, bad bacteria or germs from overtaking the body. So I would say astragalus is a great herb for building the body's immune system. Echinacea is another great herb for building the body's immune system. Elderberry is a great herb for building the body's immune system. Uh, um, um, Black seed oil, and that also can be taken if someone was sick and had COVID or any other virus or anything. Black seed oil is great for that. I don't know if I said golden seal already, but golden seal is a great herb for that. Also, there's something called colloidal silver. Colloidal silver is also great for the body's immune system, and again, um, killing off any illnesses, bacterias, and viruses and stuff. Comfrey, fenugreek, like there's a lot of different herbs that can be taken for building the immune system, and then also getting rid of any mucus and killing any type of viruses, bacterias, and all of that. Golden seal herbs that I mentioned is a natural penicillin. It's a natural antibiotic. It's strong. And so yeah, that's like one of the herbs that I would highly suggest also as well if a person was dealing with any type of.
Now the other question is that for older people, the shingles, is there you recommend the same herbs for that and the flu?
Yeah, the only difference as far as shingles that I would also suggest, in addition to those herbs, would be herbs to also cleanse out the blood. Um, so I would do like a burdock or a yellow dock, um, sarsaparilla, chaparral. Um, those type of herbs would be good for cleansing out the blood. Or like at New Body, we have the combination of herbs, which has pretty much all those herbs that I just named for the cleansing of the blood. It's called Freedom. That cleanses out the blood. So I would also suggest that. But outside of the combination that I was talking about for the cleansing of the blood for shingles particularly, yeah, for elders it would be the same thing all the way around.
Okay. Then the other question is when it comes down to the various illnesses that well, see, the problem is that getting people to have faith in it and to really practice it, because it takes when you take these herbs, how long do they begin to activate? Like say, for instance, to build your immune system.
Right away.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Herbs builds the body. It builds the body up. So it's a building effect as opposed to the pharmaceuticals. Your body just has like a chemical reaction to it, kind of like jits it to kind of like do whatever um it's supposed to work for. And in a lot of cases, what it does is it suppress the symptoms in the body to where the person thinks that, oh, okay, like this is working good, or um it'll affect other parts in the body so that now there are side effects to it, and in return, now you have to take this because now you got this problem now.
Okay. Okay, now when it comes down to particularly African American male, I'm gonna ask you a question about female. African American male, prostate and colon cancer has been very, very severely hitting the Black community. Do you recommend colonoscopies as you do the herbs, or do you just how do you know if the herbs are working from the standpoint of prostate and colon cancer, preventing colon cancer?
Yeah. So, first and foremost, yeah, you're absolutely right about that. As far as the prostate, in particular, I get a lot of men coming with the prostate issue. So there's herbs for that, like saw palmetto, pygeum, pumpkin seed oil, our pumpkin seeds, that are all great for that. Now, the way, well, you asked about the colonoscopy first. When it comes down to the colonoscopy, there's an issue with it being so invasive, and I know, I have one brother that I'm helping now who did get a colonoscopy. The problem that he ended up having, and this is not the first time, like I've heard several brothers say this, the problem that he started to have was he started to then have blood out of his urine and his stool that he never had prior to getting that. Once he got the colonoscopy, then he started to have some bleeding. He went back to the doctors, and then they told him about something about when they did the colonoscopy, that they expected a little bit of blood, because I think they said that it pinched or perked. I don't know exactly what he said happened, but it's a sign. And of course, the natural like response or excuse for most people is like, oh, it's because I'm aging. And it's not to say that as you age, your body doesn't change, but it is to also suggest as well, the other part of it that I really try to get people to see is, um, though your body does go through changes, it's really important even more as your body change to then adapt more adjustments into your lifestyle as far as different herbs, and then even changes as far as um um like what not to do, preventatives, as far as like, okay, the older you get now, it's way more important now to watch like what foods you put in your body, or what drinks you're drinking that's affecting the liver, or that's affecting the prostate. um so that, and with the colon cancer, again, that's when it's going back to how crucial it is to be mindful of what you eat, when you eat, how much you eat, as opposed to before. Say, for example, I'm gonna say a 12-year-old kid can probably get away with eating a bag of Oreos. Like I remember like being a little kid having a small bag of Oreos and going through that, as opposed to a brother in his 50s or 60s, that bag of probably inflame his prostate, and now he having issues and he hurting. You know what I'm saying? But that's just when you need to adjust, and you need to understand that you know, everything is critical and crucial as far as what you can and can't eat, even how late you eat, because the body's digestive system isn't as strong as it used to be when we were younger. So a lot of this has to do with just awareness of the body, and then also just making the adjustments, proper adjustments as far as the eating times, how much you eat, and drinking, how much you drink. But if you've taken the herbs for these things like the colon cancer or the prostate issues, and you pay attention to the body, you'll be able to see that these herbs are working. And
Okay. The question, when it comes to females do come into your store and say they're having fibroid problems, or they're going through the change of life, or either that they having menstrual problems and things of this nature, are there herbs to treat women like that, and young, especially young people?
absolutely. So again, in New Body, we have a combination of herbs called AG7. And what that is that's a hormone balancer for women. It helps with balancing the estrogen levels. I do want to speak on that, the estrogen part in particular, because with the foods, now that, like, basically with the additives of the hormones and the animals and the dairy and cheese and all that stuff, milk, like the estrogen levels are higher in both men and women, which leads to, again, for brothers, prostate cancer. For women, ovarian cysts, fibroids, breast cancer, because the body can't do anything with that high amount of estrogen. So then what happens is the body rejects these things, and then now you start to see these masses being built, or inflammation in the prostate or the reproductive organs, because the body can't do anything with it. And Black people in particular, we are very prone to the prostate and the fibroid issues, because we really are like naturally lactose intolerant. Like, we're really not supposed to be having any type of dairy at all, because all that dairy does is it when it breaks down into the body, it becomes uric acid. Uric acid in the body causes inflammation, and that uric acid in the body from the dairy and stuff, and from the added hormones and the animals and the dairy and all that stuff, all that does again is just cause the prostate issues and the reproductive issues as far as the fibroids and the cysts and all of that. So for cysts, there's definitely AG7 and or other herbs they could take, are Don Quai, Damiana, black cohosh, red raspberry leaf, and maca. Those are just a few herbs that can be taken for the sisters that's dealing with that. And then even soursop, which is very great as well. And then clean again. One of my biggest things that I really like to also encourage people to do is clean your blood out regularly. Cleaning the blood out is so important, because the blood travels throughout the entire body, the brain, the blood travels all over you. So the thing is, the blood being cleaned is important too, because the toxins that from whatever you eat, that stuff also goes into the bloodstream. Once it's in the bloodstream, the bloodstream is like a freeway. That the highway is going to travel throughout the rest of the organs and everything, and the channels in the body. So cleaning the blood out regularly, I would suggest at least going on a regimen. I personally like to do once a week, every month, where I dedicate myself every month for that whole week of just cleansing out my blood regularly. Even if you ain't worried about nothing, even if there's no concerns, keep your blood clean, because a clean blood is also a key to life, and as far as like the energy you feel and the health, because the blood is vital. I mean, we know how important our DNA is. You know what I'm saying? So, and that clean blood will even help you tap into those Akashic records, to even go back into like tapping into the ancestral memory banks, to be able to, tap into and hone into that power that we were speaking about earlier.
Yeah, and then the last thing, do y'all offer classes for parents or women who and family of men and women who are going to have a baby, and putting the emphasis on how to teach them how to eat properly and exercise properly, putting an emphasis on nutrition? Do you know of any classes like that? Because see, a lot of people are just eating it. They eat what their parents gave them, or they eat what is on television, big old giant burger with pastrami on it and everything. They don't see that as poison. Like when the man sold our parents cigarettes back in the 50s, they didn't have the big warning, you know, it could cause cancer. So many of our parents, we lost with lung cancer because they didn't know that that was a cancer stick, as we call them now. And a lot of people don't know that what they're eating that feels good, tastes good, because it's advertised and they put so much seasoning on it and additives. Now you don't know what you're eating. You know, they put so much stuff on a hamburger now. You know, you don't know. You can't even taste the hamburger. You know, before all the different salts and sugars, salts and sauces that they put on them. So my point to you is that how do we get our parents? Because my parents didn't put an emphasis on nutrition. So I grew up addicted to orange sodas, crush, making floats and doing that stuff because it tastes good, and no one was there to say you shouldn't do that. You understand? Nobody was there. And I'm just saying that to work with our masses of people, that food is a weapon, and to really kill your inner energy, inner spirit and things that's nature, and cause you to be sick at an early age or even die. So I'm trying to, you know, I'm thinking about starting a food anonymous, like Cocaine Anonymous. They have some around, but I'm thinking about putting one at a spiritual center, because you go around, you see so many obesity, men and women, and you want to know, wow, you know, and it ain't about living longer. It's about living a healthy life.
Right.
So how what kind of remedies do you see to try to prevent our people from becoming addicted to your Western foods and things of this nature?
Yeah, well, the first part of your question, as far as like the resources and stuff available, we do have some brothers and sisters who are also herbalists and nutritionists, such as myself, and um, they do have classes, sometimes our seminars, and at our shop, we tend to like post or like have out the flyers and stuff there for people to grab and is available. I'm not sure who's running our social media and how active it is. So I can't speak on the social media part. And in referring to myself, I also do um, consultations with people, and I am going to start doing speaking engagements and gatherings and stuff where I come to. I mean, where we as a people can meet up. I'll come with some herbs. I'll come with some fresh fruit juices and uh, things like that. And then we can also speak more about in-depth education about wellness. And one of the things that I do want to point out in references to the addiction part of things, um, the salt and the sugar is has gotten people so addicted to whatever foods in general. I'm just say foods altogether, and that's just about in everything. Salt and sugar. You can almost not find anything with salt and sugar in it. And there's been I've seen like the actual uh um the scans of the person's brain before they actually eat salt and sugar, and then 15 minutes after they eat salt and sugar. And it shows the activity that's going on in the brain. And the brain and is pretty much stimulated as if a person is on cocaine. I seen this one brother, he's actually a rapper. He was talking about how he's had a harder time uh cutting out sugar from his diet than he had stopping cocaine. He said it was easier for him to stop cocaine than it was for him to stop eating sugars. So like the reality of it is like this stuff has people so addicted that it's not their brains that's actually thinking for them, it's their stomachs. I just recently seen this movie uh with Jamie Foxx called They Cloned Tyrone, I believe is what it was called. I kept getting told to watch it. So I finally ended up watching it. And one of the things that one of the messages in the movie that I liked about that movie in particular was they were showing that the chemicals that was inside of these hair products, and how it was affecting people's bodies, the music and how it was affecting people's bodies, like, which goes back to the original point that I was making at the very beginning. Like, we have to be consciously mindful of the things that we're consuming, like what we put into our hairs, what we put on our skin, what we put on our bodies, what we allow our ears to ingest, what we allow our eyes to ingest. Like, most people think consumption is just food and drink, but it's way deeper than that. It's way deeper than that. It's about what you put in on you, because what you put on you, your skin is the biggest organ. So what you put on your skin, your body absorbs. And so it's really, really important for people to, again, be mindful and start reading it. Like, when you buy something, whatever it is, I just want to challenge everyone that hears this. Whatever it is that you purchase from here on out, please just start being mindful as far as looking at the ingredients. See what's in it. If it's something that you can't pronounce, and if it's anything that you wouldn't buy individually from a store or you wouldn't ingest individually, be alarmed, concerned. When they start putting stuff in this, I'm gonna give an example. Alkaline water. One of the biggest hoax that has gotten a lot of people. When you look at the bottle of alkaline water and it has ingredients, it shouldn't be no ingredients if it's just water.
Okay.
The fact that you have ingredients in there, and when you look at most alkaline waters, it'll say purified water, and then it'll have other things in there that they add into it. And they say they add to it to bring the alkalinity into the water, but that's a problem because these are man-made things that they're adding to the water. It's unnatural. Natural means that the creator had it this way and it's untouched, it's unfiltered, there's nothing else to it.
Okay, the other question is what about iridology? How good is that for diagnosis and treatment? And could you explain iridology?
Yeah, so iridology is basically the study of the iris and being able to make a diagnostic of what's going on in the body with looking at the iris from a very zoomed in, almost microscopic view. Now, the body has different, the iris can signify different placements inside of the body to determine when you have different problems or ailments that's going on, when there's some dis-ease, which we get the word disease from. Dis-ease, when the body's not at ease, when you have a dis-ease in the body, the iris can tell you can see it through a viewed lens with the iris being in front of like a zoom camera where you can see the the iris and whatever. And so it determines what organs in the body is being affected or isn't functioning properly the way that they need to. And so what I do is because I have my license as an iridologist. So what I do is um I have this camera where the person puts their eyes into it, take a picture of both eyes, and I could determine based off of the placements of the iris exactly where different tissues and different organs could be having some issues and dysfunctioning at. And with that, obviously, I would suggest a person different herbs they need to take or different lifestyle adjustments that they need to make. And with you asking that question, and it's funny you asked me that because one of the biggest things that I see common in most Black folks is they have a ring around their eyes. It's a gray ring that goes around, that is around the iris, which means that the person is dealing with high sodium. And most Black people have high sodium. They're dealing with a lot of salt intake. So, yeah, I personally right now, I don't have a I don't have a location open to the public where I can start seeing people and reading their eyes. So right now, I've just been doing friends and close friends of my family, people that I know, and I've been having them either come to my place or I'll go to their place. But I am working towards having my office so that way I can start seeing public.
All right, thank you.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to Linda, and then we're gonna close for the evening.
Okay, yes, thank you.
And then I'm gonna see if Brother Millz want to come back in 2 weeks, because I do have an open spot. Okay,
well,
Linda.
and thank you. And Brother Millz, I know you say you're doing it at your office. I'm here in Florida. Do you have any affiliates here in Florida that I can get a consultation from? That's the first question.
I think I do. Let me do this. When we're finished here, I can get your contact information and then we can talk from there. I believe I do though.
Yeah. And I definitely need your contact information. Also, there's a booklet that had all the herbs in it that I got a year ago, and I moved and I don't have it. I need another copy of that because it explained each herb and it was so detail oriented. How can I get a copy of that? And other people might need that also.
Okay. Was it the book that we have?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So that one can be purchased on our website, newbodyproducts.net. And then of course when
With it?
yeah, out of the store is not good. Because it's very, very it's too strongly carbonated. Like the carbonation from it is almost like a soda. And the problem with that is it's eating up at the tissues inside of the colon, and you don't want that. Any type of carbonated anything, that stuff is that acid is too strong for the colon tissue. So if you can do natural kombucha where you actually ferment the fruits yourself,
yes,
then I would suggest that. That's a good substitute. But the problem is a lot of this commercial stuff, which we should know about when it comes down to a lot of the commercial products, is not this. It's not the same. They commercialize it to mass produce it. So,
okay, yes. Well, only one quick other question. What about the stem cell patches? What do you think about that?
I'm not familiar with stem cell patches.
Okay. All right, but I definitely gonna get your information.
For sure, and I'm gonna look into that stem cell patches because I'm not familiar with that.
Well, she said stem cell. What you say? Practice?
No, patches.
Okay. All right.
Instead of, because a lot of people get stem cell shots to regenerate your cells. And I'm just learning about them now because I had a stroke and I'm trying to regenerate my cells in my body.
Oh yeah, there's herbs for that. You can do chaparral. You can do there's an herb called haritaki.
Oh,
Um that's more like a fruit, but um you could do that. Um you got Foti Tang. Uh
I'm trying to
that's
spell it, so we definitely gonna have to talk because I don't know how to.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to.
Well, yeah, when we talk, I'll for sure give you all of that, the herbs and everything. I'm just really trying to just go off the top to answer your question, and then for those who are listening, I might want to take note too. Foti Ting, I said that. Uh, and then also Gotu Kola and Ginkgo are also the other great herbs that are also good for the rejuvenation of the cells. But yeah, there's herbs for that. There's herbs for that.
Okay, great.
All right, so we may be doing a part 2 real soon if Brother Millz is available, and we're gonna take our close this evening. So on next Wednesday, we have Brother Kwabena coming back, and the topic is building a united front against murder music. So that should be very interesting. And thanks a lot, Brother Millz, for coming this evening. And please stay on so I can talk to you a little bit. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. Each one teach one. Well, oh, Professor Rob,
Yeah.
what's the topic next week?
The history of Black studies, its relevancy, the history of Black studies and its relevancy. See, when Black studies started, it was started by students for the purpose of raising the consciousness of students, as well as teaching them, music, Black music, history, and all that. But the real purpose of it was to teach them to be revolutionary. We had a class called Soul Food, but people mistook the class for about us promoting soul food when it was about nutrition. And so some people took the class out and didn't even read what the class was about. They just didn't like the name when they got in power. And we had one class, guerrilla warfare and, those things. And I just want people to understand, because Black studies has changed now. And when it started, it was student generated and student driven. Now it's academician driven. That's why they changed the names from Black studies, which was the revolutionary name, to Africana studies and all that stuff, Pan-African studies and all that. So I'll explain that. I'm gonna send you some stuff you could post too.
All right. So we're gonna take our pause. Each one teach one. And Conscious Corner. Everybody have a good evening.
All right, brother.